Hello everybody, welcome back to Boat Crew. We are now in the third episode. We'll be continuing this series, as mentioned last time. The Warband one we'll get back to shortly. I've been having a little bit of crashes. I'm working on fixing it. Otherwise, let's get back into it. Alrighty, picking up where we left off. Let's adjust our boat a little bit, if I can afford it. Not that, excuse me. Let's adjust some stuff here. We've still got all of our uses on those. Change our loadout here. See if there's anything other we can afford. Real quick. Get depth charges. I am expecting there to be submarines at some point soon, so I'm going to roll with the depth charges. And that'll have to be it, I think. I might be able to get Mark 15s. Yeah, I can just barely afford Mark 15s. So slightly better torpedoes. Okay, let's continue on. Let's go ahead and assist Malapa by at least like torpedoing some of the bigger stuff. And then we'll flee. Alright, where's the big stuff? Ooh. There's a good target. Torp drop. Torp drop. Let's get out of here. I do not want to fight any of that with my machine guns. Ooh, we have a tender. Maybe I can retreat to that and kill even more big stuff. Ooh, just gotta avoid the shells. Shells are going in. Come on. Ah, I turned. Uh-oh. Whew, that was close. Helmsman, floor it. We need some more torps so we can deal with that destroyer. Come on, tender. Torps loaded. Torp in the water. Torp in the water. Take evasive action. Machine guns bottom up. Take evasive. Woo! Close. Oh, torpedo impact on the bow. Or was it on the stern? No, that was on his stern. He turned around. Secondary fire lit up. See if we can't go reload our torps again. Is he gonna sink from that? Looks like he's sinking. Nice. Get to the tender, refill, get back to combat. We're being flanked. Fire, machine guns, fire. Down goes the destroyer. All guns, open up, open up, open up. Hit him 50s. Anything big left? A couple things. Mainly landing craft. Let's deal with those first. And there's a sub chaser. Fire one torp at that. Big enough target for torpedoes, but not a big enough target to worry about launching multiple targets for. If it gets hit once, it'll probably die. Light them up, MGs. Light them up. Careful here. Drop torp. Look it. Subchaser's gonna mess us up if we're not careful. missed. Yeah, that Torp missed. Somebody's knocked down. They got knocked off. Yeah, I know there's people in the water, but I can't get that close. Flak on that subchaser's gonna screw us up. Medics, get on that man. Landing boat. Get Walter back up. I think Walter died. Unfortunate. No, he's back up. I think the medics just barely got to him. Get on the boat. Alright, we're sailing. Let's help make sure that subchaser goes down. Okay, yeah, he's sinking. That one is a subchaser, that one is a subchaser, so I can't engage those directly. Let's call in some wildcats to go and engage those subchasers to at least keep them off me for a little bit. They spawn in just above you and then they go and engage whatever's around. Another subchaser? Yeah, another subchaser. That's RP in the water. Let me get that first. I'm gonna get a bunch of RP for helping sink that destroyer. Perfect. There goes a wildcat strafing the subchaser. Unfortunately, he got shot down. They're not really meant for fighting ships, but I figured throw them up there so then the subchasers are too busy fighting the aircraft to fight the tender. For naval targets like that, you want the ones with bombs on them. I'm surprised they haven't included like torpedo bombers, but I'm sure that'd be hard to program. Let's get to this tender and reload our torps, as there's two subchasers still over there. Subchasers are much harder to hit with large torps, so I'll have to be kind of pseudo-cautious on that. Is he sinking already? No, he's not. Let's see here. Might as well launch one torp at him. Hopefully that impacts. It's pretty slow and pretty visible torpedo, so they might be able to evade it. Yeah, no shot. That's fine. Just fire it like there-ish. I think they might be fleeing, judging by the direction they're going. That one's gone. As you saw there, the points scale based on how much damage you actually did. I'm not confident that one's going to impact anything. Yeah, I think they're going to turn out of the way. Let's get to the tender, reload our torps, and hit them again. Torps loaded. Let's get that RP. I believe they're taking evasive action now. Coasted pass, yeah. Makes sense. They're large torpedoes, and large torpedoes are not really meant for engaging smaller ships. Mind you, he's leaning hard. Let's go ahead and close distance. Let's speed this up a little bit because I'm like 5,000 meters out. Close to about 3,500. That's a reliable engagement distance. Oh, he sunk. Just launch them both. Hopefully it does something. Come on, torpedoes, hit him. Ah, just off his bow. Or stern, rather. Okay, let's get our RP. And then let's just back off. We can let the allies deal with this. But we have saved Malapa, which is good. And for sinking that destroyer, we got a whopping 2,500 RP, which is solid. I'd like to change out one of our, if possible, change out one of our machine guns for a Orlican cannon. Perfect. And then, can I put a mousetrap on this? In exchange for the depth charges, yes. Because I find the... Well, the depth charges are good and fine, and you get to them. The rockets do the same thing. They just force it to surface instead, but at the same time. If you can nail them, why not? For torpedoes, let me see here. Best bet for the moment might be using smaller torps. 6,000, 7,500, 600 meter guiding range, yeah. Can I afford... Yeah, I can afford some Mark 24s. Not as good at hitting targets directly, but it's something. Yeah, that'll have to do. Let's get back into it. Smaller torps, but they're better for hitting ships like the ones we were engaging. Oh, they're sending reinforcements. Let's try to cut them off. Supply submarines, and we got the perfect loadout for that kind of thing. Speedy torpedoes with good guidance, and rockets for kicking them out of the water. Only hard part is finding them, which I am going to just speed up. Just realizing we don't have any bandages on the ship, so no wonder it took the medics so long. I should allocate some resources for that. Here's the submarines. You can see them on the map. Let's force that one up. Prep torpedoes. Try to fire. Fire. Let's deal with him. Fire the Orlicon on it for good measure. Down he goes. Perfect. Fire some rockets. Slow to a crawl. Uh-oh. Wasn't expecting two at once. I don't know if that'll hit. Trident should do stuff. Was it just hit one that was underneath the water? Yeah, I think it just hit one that was underneath the water. If they're cruising close to the surface, that's what that'll do. Light them up. Mind you, I would not ever recommend just engaging submarines with surface guns, as that cannon they get is nasty. I can fire beehive rounds and that'll tear you apart. Alright, we are out of ammunition. So I think that's the last submarine we're going to be able to engage out of this group. Crap. Oh, ouch. Yep. That right there would be why. Gunner, go ahead and get on the helm so we can go pick everybody up. Yeah, that's what I was talking about with the deck gun on the submarines being kind of nasty for little PT boats like myself. Alright, everybody back to your positions. Let's go and get some supply. Or some RP, and then we're gonna bail and get supplies from that tender fleet nearby, and then try to finish them off. Let's go. Got 1200 RP out of that, though. Let's try to get Malapa's supply and hit him again. 2 supply submarines. Let's nail him. Prep the rockets. I'm just speeding along these parts where you're hunting submarines because it just takes ages to find them. Once I get back to port, I will allocate some bandages. Troops, here we go. Here's some submarines. Close in. Fire rockets. Slow to a crawl. Didn't force them up. The rockets just forced them out of the water. More than anything. Depth charges will like actually damage them underwater and everything. It's just you have to use the extra space. Fire one. Nail him, Torp. Oh. Downside of using guidance, occasionally they'll just decide they're doing their own thing. Fire another. That one's sinking. Let's fire an extra torque to be safe about that. Ow! There's the beehive rounds I was talking about. Jerk. Was anybody from that? I don't think so. Yeah. Submarine fighting. Always a gamble. I prefer using the rockets to depth charges. Even though it's more dangerous. I then can just use torpedoes to slap them. It's just I have to be fast enough about it and evasive enough to avoid the deck gunfire. Alright, let's get our last bit of RP here. And withdraw. And we even got resupplied right there. Let's hit this small supply fleet that's getting hit by the Air Force currently. Naval Air Service. It's probably going to take a decent chunk of torpedoes to take down that merchant vessel with these smaller ones. I'm going to fire 2 to start with and keep our distance. Let's wait for these to go in. You can see him. That's planes. There's torps. Wow, those are way off target. Air Force might have it under wraps. Let's go ahead and drop these anyway. I don't know where those 2 are going. They might still hit target via the guidance system. It's turning. Yep, both are still going to hit. Dual impact. Rear center mass toward the boiler. Two other torpedoes seem to be heading fine. Let's bank around a little bit. They're currently engaging the aircraft. Yeah, they shot them all down. Another impact. It's 4 impacts. Are you going to sink? Probably not. Those aren't very big torpedoes, so it makes sense. Oop. Secondary fire. Another secondary fire. Are you going to sink? Yeah, he's actually going to sink. Neat. Let's go deal with his escort, and then that'll be this entire fleet wiped out. Close to range via speed. Nope, and the aircraft dealt with it. Perfect. Catch back up with this. Let's just go to carrier fleet to reinforce there. Let's scout out Apio. Couple ships in port, and they just came out of port. Perfect. Merchant ships. A merchant ship, rather. Okay, let's prepare to fire. Let's wait till they get up to speed first, otherwise we'll have a moment like last time where they all just hit the rear. Alright. fire. 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 I just see the thing there is telling us about enemy patrols coming in, because as you kill more stuff, your pseudo-wanted level will go up. And as your wanted level goes up, you'll receive bigger and bigger retaliations whenever you're doing any sort of raid. So if it gets too high, you may just want to lay low for a little bit. Here goes the Torps. Let's see if we manage to kill it. Impact center mass. Another impact center mass. All 4 impact center mass. We'll have to just kind of hang out. See if that actually will sink her. Do wish there were better visual indicators of like where you hit the torpedoes on the merchant ships. Doesn't appear to be going down. No secondary fire. She is dead in the water currently. She doesn't appear to be listing at all. Let's just chill on the outskirts here a little bit. No, damage control got her under control. Problem with hitting the same spot so many times is damage control can actually catch up. Oh, there's a fleet moving over here. Coastal tankers. It's also the problem with using smaller torpedoes in general, but they track way better, so they're a lot easier to aim. Alright, drop Torp there. Drop some at this rear ship. Alright. Watch these impact. Seems like they might impact at similar time frame. Impact on the rear one. Pretty nasty impact there. Another impact. Ooh, double impacts. Nasty fires broke out. She's sinking. Yep, both targets sunk. Ready to call in some Wildcats to assist. Alright. Reinforcing Wildcats. Come and assist. We got 2,000 RP on the ground here. I need to take out the rest of this fleet. Well, floating in the ocean. Nope. Are you guys just doing laps back there? I may have called them in too early. Yeah, let's just call them the other ones. Let them do their work. The machine guns plus, I believe, is just they have the 6, or rather the 12 50 cals instead of the 4. Like it's a specific model of the Wildcat that has differing armament. It's called like the FM2 or something like that. If I remember to do so, I'll put it up on screen. Nice job, Wildcat. Scratch a fleet. Come on, give me the last little bit. Need every scrap of RP I can get my hands on right now. Alright, we got 5 grand. Can I afford a Mark 28? No. We've got decent guidance, but none of these other big ones do. So I guess we'll just be sticking with those for the time being. Can I have a utility weapon here? No, those are looking that good. Like, none of them would be that useful for my purposes right now. M4 cannon would be useful somewhat, but not really. Okay, let's get those bandages I was talking about. Let's go ahead and move stuff around here. Center right, center left. Rear deck right, medkits. Rear deck left, more ammunition. Confirm. So we can stay in fights longer. What's this? Ah, it's that merchant ship from earlier. Let's hit him again. Wait for him to get underway. Alright. Let's launch this there-ish. Launch this there-ish. Launch that directly at him, so then it'll maybe come out from his side. When you turn, you gotta watch out for the torps that are launched from those top racks, because you can accidentally knock them off course with your boat. Let's watch these go in. Now, regardless of these small ships being in the way, they won't actually affect the torpedoes whatsoever. The torpedoes will just straight up ignore them. Big old fire coming off that submerged ship. Oh, and it even killed the subchaser with the explosive radius. Come on, I know we hit something critical. Ooh, secondary explosion. On the front hull. And she's going down to the bottom. Perfect. Alright. Let's go mop up the last of these guys. And get our RP. Merchant ships are a great way to get RP. Base raids, not so much. They just boost your, I think it's like weekly income. Which is fine. You know, income is income, but this is how you get raw, just RP right now kind of thing. Fire guns. And that's that fleet dealt with. Let's go get our RP and get out of here. Perfect. Okay, I've got another 5,000. Is that enough to get Mark 28s? I know I'm being pretty persistent on that, but Mark 28s are just flat out the best torpedo you can have. No, not yet. So, back to... I need another 3 grand. Confirm. Need another 3,000 RP. Before I forget, let's go and try to raid Renel. I like to have these 2 islands completely captured, because then you have this zone of control just under your control. So let's go ahead and scout it out first, and let's hit it. Light-based defenses, so it shouldn't be terrible. Some of the later ones get pretty gnarly. So you need some serious firepower in order to bring them down. And in boats like this one, you're just not going to get that firepower. The best you can get is a howitzer, which I haven't actually used yet, but... Come on, Orlican. Orlicans do good damage, but their fire rate's terrible. Or rather, not their fire rate, their ammo consumption. It's awful. Goes in AA position. It's coastal along the coast. Haha, funny joke. That is a watchtower there, yeah. Alright, let's go back around. You don't have to full kill it. I'm just killing as much as possible to make it as easy as possible for my troops to finish the battle before the enemy can reinforce. Because the enemy will reinforce during the battles. Watchtower there. Watchtower destroyed. Another flak position, looks like. Sandbag machine guns. Come on, Orlican. Only other issue being the Orlican's long barrel doesn't like the center mast on this boat. Alright, now let's hit that last position, and this should make it super easy for the invasion force. Some sandbags. Not really an issue. Alright. That's all forces destroyed. Let's just finish that up and let the invasion force go hit that. Over on the right side of the screen here, you can see when your troop invasions are ready to hit more targets. The longer you go without doing so, the bigger the invasion fleets will get, but at the same time, the stronger the enemy will get. So let's wait for our fleet to hit that. Well, I say let's wait. We'll just keep an eye on that and make sure they actually manage to get it. I'm going to scout some of the nearby territories to make sure they're not trying to resupply Renelli. Like, Avu right now for me is going to be impossible. Same with Belunda. I don't have anything that has firepower capable of dealing with the defenses. I can... There's 2 Fubuki classes. I don't know if I'll be able to destroy any destroyers with the torpedoes I have, but there's probably going to be torpedo nets. Yeah, there's a couple torpedo nets, but they're moving. Let's go ahead and fire a torp there. 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 Torps are all out. Now let's get out of here. Just watch those coast in. There's no way I'm getting in close against those. If I destroy it, great. If I damage it, also great. If I don't, oh well. This is more of just a raid to scare the crap out of them more than anything. And by that, I mean also weaken the destroyer so then if it gets in another engagement, it may lose. Ooh, nasty secondary explosion on board. Must have hit his boiler. Let's chill in the area because he might sink from that. We'll just chill all the way out here until we've confirmed a sinking. Because if you disengage and re-engage, and during the re-engagement they die before you actually engage with them, you won't get the credit. Fire broke out on board. They're moving again, but they're going to sink. Down it goes. Alright, let's get out of here. Now, that's a lot of RP that's around there, but I can't get there with that other destroyer there, let alone the huge amount of base defenses that will be all over that. There's one there, one there, one there. Let alone the light batteries that are in there. I don't know what those look like directly, but they're basically coastal artillery, and they will mess you up. Okay. Renell has fallen. Perfect. And I got a bunch of RP for that. I think we will call it there for today. As said at the start of the video, this series will continue. No issues on there. The Warband 1 will pick up back at some point. I'm just trying to fix the crashes, so you'll have to forgive me on that. Other than that, though, have a good one.